What's happening, y'all? Welcome back, Isolation Libations, with this guy, me, your online bartender, Joey Joyce. We are on episode number 11, week number 3 of making cocktails, some original, some classic, to pair with Brian Chartrand's Happy Half Hour live on Facebook at 5 o'clock West Coast time every weekday. Check it out. Why am I doing this with my fingers? I don't know. But today, as you may recall from the other weeks, we are pairing a cocktail along with one of Brian's songs. This week, I'm going to do it a little bit different. We're going to take one of his songs and use it as a theme for the entire week. So I was listening through his catalog, and on Worth the Fight, one of his original albums, he's got a song called Don't Look Too Close. Now, again, the lyrics may not totally match up with the cocktails, all of them, but the title definitely got my mind twirling, whirling, thinking, and made me think about when I was starting out bartending, and I would come up with maybe something I thought was an original cocktail, and then I would look a little closer at it and see, oh, this is like a classic cocktail, and I just kind of changed one thing. And I used to get a little down on myself for that. Come to find out, or the more I learned, the more I grew, I started looking at some of these modern classics and realizing that they are a lot of times just like one little ingredient, one little tweak away from the classic cocktail that they're based on. So, in my mind, I used to think, don't look too close at my cocktail ingredients because you'll think I am not creative enough or something like that. Again, as I learn more, I realize that's not an issue. Something I always try to teach to my bar team was that, don't get down on yourself for that. Take a look at all these cocktails that are, considered new, like modern classics, ones that are featured in Buy Magazine or on liquor.com or punch.com. These ones that we all know and are all making and guests are coming in asking for, and take a look at them and see that one, maybe two ingredients are different, just like little slight tweaks, and they're famous. So, I want to remind everybody, like, don't think you have to reinvent the wheel. You can make some subtle tweaks and really come up with something fantastic and memorable, and people that are really going to celebrate and love and enjoy. So yeah, the theme of this is cocktails that are very close to their original form, the original classic form, but have gained notoriety, are well known throughout the bartending community, I suppose, and they're really not that much different than their original. So that is the theme, and that's the song. Listen to that song. I'm doing the hand thing again. Let Brian explain, and there's a gunshot. Let Brian explain the meanings of the song, Don't Look Too Close, because it's a great song too. All right, so today, the one we're gonna start out with is actually an original. It's a classic cocktail from the 1920s, from the Detroit Athletic Club, called The Last Word. Now, this kind of disappeared like a lot of great cocktails after Prohibition. It was, I guess, resurrected at the Zigzag Bar in Seattle. Really cool bar. I'm so sorry, but I forget the name of the bartender who kind of resurrected it. But it's, I would say, one of the most popular kind of classic cocktails that people would order at my bars that I worked at. The staff loved it. Everyone loved it. It's a great drink. One of the things I've been asked to do a little bit more of is to talk about the flavor profile of the cocktails. Now, I'm kind of two minds on that. For one, definitely I can give a little bit more like kind of basics, like, okay, this is more sour, more herbal, like that, more spirit forward, more boozy. But I don't want to give too much of like what I'm tasting, because I don't want to put my thoughts, my tasting notes, like into your head, because you should be figuring out for yourself what you taste. I think a lot of like sommeliers are very guilty of doing that, where, well, of course I'm getting, blackberries and, freshly laid pavement, or, I don't know. And then you might feel intimidated or think that your tasting notes don't matter. And I never want to have you think that, you know, whatever you think is totally valid. We all have different palates. We literally taste things differently. You know, like cilantro, I think of. I love cilantro. I know some people, it's a genetic thing. It tastes like soap to them. So if I tell you what this cocktail tastes like, and if you taste it and like, I don't think that's right, I don't want you thinking that you're wrong. You're just tasting it different than I am, and that's totally cool. But I will say, for this cocktail, it's sour because we're using fresh lime juice. There is some sweetness in there. We have the Luxardo Maraschino liqueur. So again, what we use in the Red Hook, it's that it's distilled from the cherries, the Marasca cherries, but it has the pits, some of the stems, the leaves. So it's not like that sticky sweet Robitussin cherry cough medicine. It's more floral, a little bit of nuttiness almost too, but that does provide some sweetness for this cocktail. The green chartreuse is also going to give sweetness, but also like a kick because it's 55% alcohol, and this is very herbal. So now we got a little tart, some sweet, some herbal, and then to finish it off, gin. So again, St. George Spirits Botanivore Gin, one of my favorite gins, the only gin I have right now. So it's my all-purpose gin. It's going in everything right now, which is not a bad gin to make it be your only one if you're shopping for your home bar. But this, again, lends some more herbal notes, dries it out a little bit, because again, these have a fair amount of sugar in them. So this will dry out the cocktail. But the overall tasting profile of the cocktail, it is sour, it is assertive, it's got a punch, it's easy to drink for how much booze is in it, so careful there. You can almost think of it as like a totally like amped up daiquiri with gin. I'd say it's in that neck of the woods. If you like a little sour, a lot of flavor happening in there, it would be in that category. But as far as specific tasting notes, you tell me, man. You figure it out. You let me know. So, what else? I'm rambling today. This is gonna be a long one. Yes. So, like I said, don't look too close. That's the theme for the week. So we are starting with this one, the last word. Tomorrow, we're going to do probably the most famous kind of riff on this cocktail is called the Final Ward, W-A-R-D. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, but it's only switching out 2 ingredients. Otherwise, same thing. And it's a modern classic. It's delicious. You know, pretty genius to do that, to switch it out. But a simple change. But that's what we'll be doing tomorrow, is the Final Word. But so today, sticking with the last word. Now, what else do I want to say? Speaking of last word, was that my last word? Yeah, let's make that my last word. If I think of something else, I'll interject. Again, there's no one here to stop me. So, get your shaker. There's a shake and drink. That's right. This is an equal parts cocktail. So, like we did with the Negroni, that's equal parts, 1 ounce, 1 ounce, 1 ounce. This is equal parts, 3/4 ounce, 3/4 ounce, 3/4 ounce. You guessed it, 3/4 ounce. Good, you're smart, it's good. So this is another kind of classic proportions. So there's a lot of cocktails that will use that same 3/4 ounce across the board, and it's a totally different cocktail. Remember, we're working in like 3 ounce increments pretty much. A glass like this, the coupe glass that we're gonna be using today, is I believe 5.5 ounces, right around there. So most cocktails that we're building are going to be around 3 ounces, maybe a little bit more. And then once you dilute it, you're adding about 2 ounces of water, and that's what fits in your glass, that's what's balanced. So there's only so much you can do in 3 ounces and still have a balanced drink. So, you know, don't feel bad if you come up with a equal parts 3/4 ounce cocktail and you didn't come up with something completely original, because there's only so much that you can do in there and still make it balanced. So, all right, that really is the last word. Time to start making this drink. So, you got your jigger. I'm gonna start, like I always say, start with like the cheapest, least expensive ingredient first. That way, if you screw up and you gotta dump it, you're not wasting money, product, etc., etc. So, you guessed how much it is? 3/4 ounce. Exactly. And now the Luxardo Maraschino. That's right. Say it like a pretentious bartender, please. Maraschino. 3/4 ounce. Now the green chartreuse, if you are ever find yourself with a bunch of free time, say you can't go to work, you can't go meet up with your friends, you can't go to your local bar, I don't know if that situation would ever happen, Google chartreuse and look up the history behind chartreuse. You got 1605 on there. That's a long time. It's like you could write a book on kind of the mystery of the legend of chartreuse. There's monks, made by monks. Secret recipe was lost. It was given to the monks as a gift. Like you can go down a wormhole checking out chartreuse, and also it's delicious. And the last one, the gin, St. George, in lovely Alameda, California. If you haven't been there yet, go there, tour this place. It is super cool. Everyone who works there is awesome. All right, my ice container has changed. One more plug, why not? Royal Hawaiian Catamarans. If you're in Hawaii, or you're going to Hawaii when we can, get a tour from these guys. They're the best, I tell you. So look, I'm not using my fingers. It's better. Good sanitation. And the shake time. You want to shake this one pretty well. Again, it's not going on ice. It is a little bit warmer today. We got the sun out, so hopefully the ice will melt a little bit more. Now for this one, the last word, I am going to fine strain it. So you can get these little tea strainers. You can pick it up at the store. You can order them online. They're very cheap. But this is going to strain out all those little ice chips, all those little ice crystals. And if you didn't strain your lime juice, any potential seeds or too much pulp that might be in there as well. Now for garnish, for the last word, you can do a maraschino cherry if you like. I always kind of go back and forth on that. Again, maraschino cherries are not my most favoriteest thing in the world, so I do it garnishless. But if you want to put that little maraschino cherry on there, that would be cool. It looks kind of nice, a little color contrast with like the more green and that nice like dark purple. But here's your last word. So there it is. Cheers, everyone. Well, let me tell you about what I'm getting exactly on this cocktail now. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for the final word. Enjoy Brian's music. Ciao.